Middle-aged.
Outlaws.
Middle-aged.
Outlaws.
Hello, it's episode 53 of the Middle-Aged Outlaws podcast. Adam, how on earth is it going?
Grand. How are you?
I'm alright, thanks. I'm good. Are you all packed for our journey that we've decided to go on?
Yeah, I feel like it's quite a long one, so yeah, bag's pretty full.
You packed enough pants? But it looks like you maybe need to have packed a razor. Unless you're going to go like full Tom Hanks on what's that?
Yeah.
Castaway.
Yeah, it's got away from me a wee bit. I think I'm getting it sorted on Friday.
What does that mean? Do you go to the hairdressers to get your beard trimmed? Please tell me
I
you
do.
do. Oh, that's
do.
amazing.
Yeah.
You're a proper adult. You're a proper middle-aged outlaw, you.
Or just lazy. I don't know.
Episode 53. We're gonna start a journey, starting out WrestleMania 21, which I've never seen before. I believe you had seen before.
I had, but I don't think I'd ever gone back and watched it. So whenever it was on, that's when I saw it.
Okay. We'll start out here. We'll finish this journey at WrestleMania 22. We said that we wanted to kind of focus on Edge and look at his character progression from one WrestleMania to the next. It's a big year for him, I think. And this WrestleMania seems a great place to start because it kicks off with him getting that title opportunity that he grabs with both hands, both metaphorically and quite literally.
Nice.
Before we jump in, we'll talk about where we are. We're WrestleMania 21 when it takes place, April 2005. You'd said to me that 2005 was right on your musical. I don't know. You'd said that was your time. I think is the way that you described
Is that
it.
what I said?
Uh-huh.
I'm full of regret now.
I'll tell you some albums released.
Okay.
Round about here. The Emancipation of Mimi by Mariah Carey.
Uh-huh.
You're still blasting that one to this day. Who is Mike Jones by Mike Jones? Do you know who Mike Jones is?
I know. Is Mike Jones Virgil, but not.
I don't know.
I think that might be his real name.
Is
But
it really?
yeah, there's also
He's not still tipping.
I wouldn't have thought so, but I don't know.
Based on some of his updates on Instagram, I don't believe that Virgil is still tipping. Do you remember Family Guy released a Live in Vegas album?
Yes, I had that.
Yeah. I can remember us listening to that. That was 2005.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Here's some singles released. Mockingbird by Eminem. Speed of Sound by Coldplay. Sugar We're Going Down by Fall Out Boys. Fall Out Boys? Don't Ya by Pussycat Dolls, your karaoke special.
Of course.
And Still Tipping by Virgil.
Okay.
We must have done in April 2005 before. Is ECW One Night Stand maybe at the back end of this month maybe? I'm sure we've done roundabout here because unfortunately one of the deaths that occurred in April 2005 was Chris Candido. And I want to say we've spoke about that before.
Yeah.
You went all respectful there.
Yeah, poor guy.
Unlike Vince when he was talking about Brian Pillman in our last one.
Yeah.
God damn it, pal. Some events that may have come across your horizon in April 2005. Newcastle teammates Kieran Dyer and Lee Bowyer both got sent off for fighting with each other.
I remember that. Yeah.
Classic. Alex Smith was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow.
And two of your favourite people, Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray, were wed, husband and wife.
Oh, it didn't really last, did it?
No, it didn't. But we'll all look forward to seeing Chad Michael Murray as Shawn Michaels in that forthcoming Netflix biopic that you were casting a couple episodes ago. So here we go. Here's a tester. UK number one in April 2005. Right off the bat, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It was number one for multiple weeks.
Oh,
That's what I'm giving you at the moment.
oh no. The last time we did something like this, wasn't it like Wet, Wet, Wet or something like that? That was number one for ages, and that was the clue.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Love is all around.
Right. 2005. Let me switch my brain on here.
I think it's a charity single,
Oh no.
and it involves a tubby comedian.
A charity single involving a tubby comedian.
British. English.
No, wait a minute. Is this too? I think it's too early for it to have been the one about a curry, but I can't now remember what that song was even called. Vindaloo. That was was that a football related one?
Aye, that would have been even earlier, I think, would it not?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay,
I'm struggling.
Let me think. Okay, he had what? Oh, Phoenix Knights.
Oh, Peter Kay. Oh, the what's it called? The Way to Amarillo.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
By
Okay.
Tony Christie. Do you know what? That just sort of jumped into my head. Do you remember he had a Christmas song where he was dressed as a woman and singing like a woman? What was that about?
I don't know, but I remember it. I can picture the music video in my head.
Aye, that's weird.
Oh.
US number one. Your hint is the complete opposite to Peter Kay and Tony Christie. That's your hint.
I feel like I would need a wee bit more.
Rapper.
A rapper. Right. Okay.
Rappers. Second album? Second or third album?
Nelly? Nah.
Never quite hit the heights of the first album. Because the heights of the first album were like Big Show level.
Right. What was that guy's name? That one guy. I'm struggling. What was the name of Eminem's pal? The one he kind of came through with him. Brought him through. Is it that guy?
You got any spare change?
50 Cent.
50 Cent.
So it can't. If it's the second album, it can't be In the Club, which is the only song I can think of his.
Okay. You might go to this place if you have a sweet tooth.
Candy shop.
Yes.
Yes.
Well done. Okay. UK box office number one, April 2005, is a horror sequel.
A horror sequel.
Yes.
But that everything I can think of surely wouldn't have been number one.
Some might say the Edge grabbed the proverbial brass one of these.
The Ring.
Yes, it is. It is the Ring. It's the Ring 2. Yes.
All right. Okay.
That was too obvious. My bad.
Yeah, I would have needed so many clues.
Okay. I'll give you one hint for this.
Okay.
April 2005, US box office, Jessica Alba.
2005, Jessica Alba. Is it the one where they're like, it's something to do with the sea?
No, it's not Into the Blue.
It's not Into the Blue.
As soon as I said it, I thought he's going to say Paul Walker.
What about the one which is a little bit superhero? What were they called?
There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
They were in black and white.
Is the second one like the Silver Surfer or something like that? No, I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
Oh no,
Sin City.
Yes, well done. You were saying Fantastic Four.
That's what I was thinking of.
That's it.
Okay.
Sin City, well done. Well
It
played.
wasn't all that successful. I would have thought 2005, I would just be able to remember it all.
Just reeled them off. What
Mm.
is 2005's 18 years ago? 18 years ago, like an 18-year-old. If you were born then, you'd be an 18-year-old.
I don't know why you have to say things like that.
That's outrageous. I've never really realised that before. My God, an
Oh, wow.
18-year-old could have been born on WrestleMania 21, and by this point could have been into wrestling, and now stopped watching it because it's fucking rubbish.
Oh, man. Wow. Wow. I
Okay,
feel middle-aged.
my bad. Okay, fan cast.
Okay.
Fan cast. Let's well, this is WrestleMania Goes Hollywood for the first time, so let's go Hollywood. Let's cast WrestleMania 21 as if it was a motion picture. What you got?
I'm not overly proud of what I've got, but I'll talk you through.
That's like, never mind.
I'd say what I did was I watched the show like it was either last Wednesday or Thursday, and I was like, right, I kind of thought, right, that's it, done, and I put it down, and then I got your message earlier, like, fan casted, and I'm like, oh no, so I started trying to think what I need to do is just do it as I'm doing the show, but I really struggled.
This has went from, oh, this will be a really fun idea to, fuck's sake, I still need to do that.
I struggled with some of them, and some of them we've definitely done before, so I tried to
Uh-huh.
do different.
Okay, I
So
like that.
So Triple H, now I may have been looking at the nose too much. I may have only been looking at the nose because for some reason I've decided that Owen Wilson could be
Yes,
Triple H.
that's
But
brilliant.
he's always comedying too relaxed, but
Wow.
I've just got
I
it.
am the gamer.
Now,
Ka-chow!
I struggled, and I don't know if it's because they're now actors that I struggled specifically with Batista and Cena, but you named a really good Batista earlier, and I can't see past it now.
Okay,
Um,
so you're going for Dominic Purcell.
yeah, he looks like him.
He does look like. Whenever I see Batista, I just think of whatever his
Yeah.
name was, Schofield in Prison Break.
So I started then looking at Cena and JBL. Cena, again, I struggled. Nah, I think I went a bit lazy. I was like, I bet Mark Wahlberg could do that. That's fine.
Amazing.
And then particularly as like the rapper gimmick, for some reason, that's
Mm.
exactly the version of Cena I want.
I can't wait to
Wahlberg
hear who
playing.
you've got for JBL.
I don't know quite how I landed on it. He's a very good actor. I think he could make it work.
Uh-huh.
I've gone with John Hamm.
Nice. Oh, I like that. I like
So,
that.
I think he could make it work. I think he could be the right kind of smarmy, arrogant, I'm powerful, you're weak and
I am
small.
a wrestling god. I could see him
Mhm.
saying it. Amazing.
Yeah.
Great shout.
So
Okay.
the only other one I did was Edge.
Okay.
And I was thinking Edge is just starting to get a little bit intense. You know, they kind of reference that a few times on the
They
show
do,
that
they do.
he's a bit crazy now. So I've gone Matthew McConaughey, but he needs
Wow.
to be a certain type of Matthew McConaughey. He
Right.
can't be like dazed and confused, just hanging out talking about, you know, all the things he talks about in that film. He needs to be the more edgy, more I've lost the plot McConaughey.
Okay.
Edgy, yeah.
So we're going True Detective Rusty
Yeah.
or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay, I like that. Okay, can I talk you through mine?
go for it.
So JR Barry Corbin, obviously. Okay, so Triple H. I went weird with Triple H because I didn't want to go Charlie Hunnam, so I was doing the same as you and try and go slightly differently. But I picked Travis Fimmel, who is the main actor in Vikings. But I was actually watching Vikings today, and I was like, he looks absolutely nothing like him. So
Okay.
have you watched any of the new season of Ted Lasso yet?
Not yet. No.
Right, okay. There was. Oh, never mind then. Never mind. Batista, Dominic Purcell, Flair, Al Pacino.
Nice. Oh, I like that. That'd
Thank
be
you.
really good.
For Cena, I've went sort of Mark Wahlberg light, Channing Tatum.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And JBL, I kind of did similar to what you did, and he's quite a difficult one to pick out, but I went Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, I could see that working.
It's probably the cowboy hat thing, but
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that working. Yeah.
And I've went a wee bit rogue for the Money in the Bank match.
Okay.
I was thinking Money in the Bank is kind of like a heist. You're trying to steal the gold, so to speak. So I thought, what if we tried to cast the Money in the Bank cast as Ocean's 11?
I like it.
Some of them didn't work. I'll preface it with that.
Okay.
So, first of all, Michael Cole at the side is played by Andy Garcia.
Okay.
Teddy Benedict, Andy Garcia.
Mhm.
Taz, Bernie Mac.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Edge is kind of like our main character that we're keeping our focus on, so I had to make that George Clooney, Danny Ocean.
Okay.
Christian is obviously handsome as handsome gets. Brad Pitt, Rusty Ryan.
Obviously.
Tomko, the problem solver, played by Elliot Gould's character, who is also a problem solver. Chris Benoit, a little bit crazy. Casey Affleck's character was a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Shelton Benjamin is going to be played by Don Cheadle, but not for the reasons that you think.
Okay.
Don Cheadle's character, Bashar Tar, was an explosives expert. Shelton Benjamin's moves in the ring, explosive.
I like it. Yep.
Chris Jericho to be played by Matt Damon's Linus character. I think he could do that.
Yep.
There's nobody to play Kane in this cast, so I've had to pick Carl Rayner, who's a large, elderly, bald man, and that's about as close as it gets.
Okay. I mean, I like it. You applied a lot of thought to that. I like it.
So there we go.
Nice.
That was it. I would watch that movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Talking of movies, shall we move straight into WrestleMania Goes Hollywood?
You are absolutely nailing all the links here. Brilliant.
They call that a segue.
I love it.
Although, isn't that the thing that Paul Blart Mall Cop goes about on?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Anywho, what did you think of we got straight off the opening, we got a Gladiator parody with Austin. And, it's like the full-on... It is quite full-on. I couldn't quite work out if this was had all been filmed or if it was just superimposed in. But anyway, it's weird to open a show with a video parody with someone who's not the main wrestler on the show, champion, main event. And Austin's, they're saying, calling him slave and Gladiator. His name's Gladiator. He says, I'm going to unleash hell. I was thinking, have I missed something? I know I've not seen this show, but I think I would know if Austin got involved in the main event or something.
Yes, but if you're watching it, you're maybe getting pretty excited for something that's just not going to happen.
It was odd. I think we'll speak about Austin later on, but this feels like the same way they've been milking Austin for last 18 years
Just
at least.
actually underlines how long that's been. That's wow.
So we get introduced to the stage. It's really interesting. I've just watched a WrestleMania that was based in LA and is called WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. And we talked about how grand the whole stage and the aisle and the setup was. And then compared to this in 2005, it still looks quite cool, but it looks plastic.
It doesn't look as impressive. I think you hear loads about the production value and stuff like that, and even I imagine just the dressing of everything that you're going to see looking really impressive, which I assume they just get better and better at as it all goes.
Yeah. It's funny because of WrestleMania 20, I always remember thinking, I hate the WrestleMania 20 thing that they come down from and all that, because it just looks rubbish.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Aye. Because is that in Madison Square Garden?
I can't actually remember.
WrestleMania 20.
I think
they come
it
down
is.
to the side.
Yeah. Yeah.
come down from the side rather than the hard camera entrance. I remember thinking it's obviously for seating and all that. But
Yeah.
anywho. Is that straight into our opening match? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Opening match is between the two current tag team champions, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. Backstory seems to be here that Eddie's lost a bit of confidence. He needs to prove to himself that he can still do it. We're a year on from him winning the title.
Yeah.
And not in the main event, but in the big match, so to speak. What did you think of this opening match? We love a Rey Mysterio opener. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I think we discussed this a little bit about the fact Eddie, we are not that far away from the end of Eddie Guerrero's life, and it looks in I think a lot of the matches he has around this era like he's lost the step. He's not as quick as he was, and I think it does show, especially when you kind of know it, you see it.
Maybe you're looking for it though, because I
Yeah.
thought that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I liked, I thought the match, like move for move, made a bit of sense. You've obviously got the ridiculous quickness of Mysterio. You've got kind of the initial respectfulness between the two, and then kind of breaking out into a bit more of a brawl at times, and telling the story, I think, of Eddie's desperation to try and win, to try and get a win on the big stage, which is, backed up by the story that we've been told all along. I thought as a match it was fine. I thought, probably being there in the arena, it's a really good way to start off a show. But yeah, I think I've definitely seen both in better matches, but I thought it was pretty good.
Fair enough. I think I was a little underwhelmed. I expected something a bit more. I think I've heard before people say it's the greatest WrestleMania opener, and it might be. It might be. I can't. I'm trying to think of Bret Owen.
Bret Owen, yeah, yeah. That's surely the greatest that there's ever been.
But like we've talked before about you open with a bang, and Mysterio's perfect for that. I felt the same. I felt a little sad watching Guerrero. I felt he's a little slow. It was that same way with that Benoit match at ECW One Night Stand, which can only be pretty close to here.
Yeah.
There were things here though that I thought, wow, I've never actually seen that before, which is always cool. Even just something as straightforward as a fireman carry by Eddie, and Mysterio lands on his feet.
Yeah.
Normally people are too big to have been able to land on their feet to do that. But
absolutely.
it was good. It was decent, acceptable. That was good. I did enjoy that in the crowd there was a sign, someone holding a sign, "Budge sucks," and I just wondered if that was a time traveling Hearts fan that had made their way into the crowd.
Wow.
So yeah. So Eddie, how do we finish here?
So Ray,
Kind of out of nowhere, isn't it?
wait a minute.
Ray hits a Hurricane Rana.
Yes,
and
that's
just kind of like out of nowhere.
Do you know, I've got it in my notes the wrong way round. I was thinking Ray won this, but my notes say Eddie wins with a Hurricane Rana into a pin. But yeah, it's Ray. Yep.
And we kind of expect almost, we've been programmed to expect a shake of the hand and a low blow or a something.
I was waiting for it. Yeah.
We get a shake of the hands and that's it. At the end of the day, they're tag team champions, and it's not like there's proper heat between them. But I do think that happens later. But
yeah,
if we're
I think it
on,
does. I think they go into like a more personal Is that where?
Of course they do, because they end up having the summers. Yes, you're going to say it.
Yeah, where Eddie is claiming to be the father of what I assume is Dominic. Actually,
it is.
Yeah. So it obviously gets a bit more personal from here and then onwards.
Class. Okay, so we go backstage, and I properly was like laughing away at this. So we've got JBL and his chief of staff, Orlando Jordan.
Yep.
United States champion, not being defended on WrestleMania. And they are coming to a corner. they bump into Triple H and Flair. Triple H appears to be drinking something, or I don't know what he's got, but whatever he's got in it, he's acting weird with it. Triple H has got the ridiculous facial hair that I noted matches Lemmy's facial hair. He's going for the. I've started calling him HHHR, Hunter Hurst Harley Race, in my notes.
Yeah, it's very Harley Race. Yeah, very.
Um,
And he loved all that stuff, so I've no doubt he's doing that
he's
deliberately.
definitely going for that. Aye.
Yeah.
The thing that made me laugh was, like Bradshaw's going like, you need to keep watching, you'll see who's a real wrestling god and all that. Did I say Bradshaw there?
Yeah.
JBL. And
Yeah.
Triple H is like, you know what, Bradshaw? And it's just so disrespectful.
Yeah. You kind of like, you walk away from this segment just thinking that it's almost like they're pointing it at the camera and mocking it. The fact that Triple H is obviously supposed to be the star, and you're left in no doubt. And I don't know if it's said in so many words, but it's basically like, you shouldn't want my attention, or you wouldn't want to get my attention. And it's Triple H is the real champion. That's the way it's put across. And JBL just happens to be on the other show, and he's got the belt on that one. Which is, and I always found it interesting because they position it that way, yet it is what was the WCW title that Triple H has got.
Yeah.
Which I've no doubt he would hold that belt in really high esteem, given it's the previous champions it has. I just always assumed that Vince would always want the prominent one to be the WWE title.
Yeah, and JBL's got that cool undisputed title belt that I always liked, which will be retired tonight, I believe, on this show. Okay.
Right.
Do you know what I was going to say, though? That Triple H, right? We're told now about Triple H and everything that's like said about him. It's like, oh, Papa H with the pointing and the arm round, and he's all about development and the talent, and everybody loves him and all that. Like, I don't know. It's like he got to a certain age, and then people put him in a washing machine, and he came back out, and he's this different person, because this is the same person that seems to just be burying people on the regular, week on week.
I suppose
for
maybe
the majority of his career.
If you think about it from like, I don't know, like a selfish point of view, from his point of view, he's been done for a few years. He's no interest in being the guy that's on top. He's got, bigger things to do backstage. So maybe it was just a change of, I'm not competing with these guys anymore. So I'm going to try and this is the switch for me, because I don't want to be in that spot now. Maybe it did just switch like that for him.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Cool. Okay. Inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah.
What a game changer the Money in the Bank has turned out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved this when it first became a thing, because I remember, WrestleMania has always been the biggest show, but it often felt like I would more enjoy a Royal Rumble, because it's got the spectacle of the Rumble match, whereas WrestleMania never felt like it had its signature match. It should have the biggest main event of the year on the card, but I thought this being added to it gave it something. I remember being a bit disappointed when they gave it its own pay-per-view, because I thought it worked really well in this environment.
Yeah, I think it's a cool thing to look forward to seeing at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think it's probably become the biggest pay-per-view they have out with the main four these days, I would guess.
Yeah.
But I like it as a staple of the WrestleMania card. The only thing I don't like about it is that the Intercontinental Champion is in this match and not defend his title. But
yeah,
I don't actually think you notice that unless you sit back and think, where's the tag belts undefended here, the US title, the IC title.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing, before we start talking about the good stuff, right? And I loved this match. I thought it was brilliant. It's class. I think they're all, with the exception of Shelton, I think they're all former champions. It makes a difference, I think. They're all top class performers.
Makes it believable in your mind that they could all win. This.
Aye,
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
as it being a stepping stone for somebody, which you can see in other years.
Yeah.
And it kind of has become that a little bit as well.
Mhm.
The only thing that I don't like about this, and it's the thing that I don't really like about modern wrestling, is that this and TLC before it have become a blueprint for like TV matches
Mhm.
and all matches
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
like people are just standing about waiting for people to launch themselves and everybody gets up and somebody else launches himself.
Yeah.
And seeing it for the first time and being in the crowd for the matches must have been amazing.
Mhm.
But we're now seeing that, like, genuinely seeing that on TV all the
Yeah.
time. It's
Yeah.
so like these people have paved the way for that, whereas they're just trying to put on an amazing match. It's at WrestleMania. It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Go all out at WrestleMania. Absolutely. Yep.
So yeah, that's my moan. That's my moan.
Okay.
I have no more moans. Talk to me. What do you think?
I really enjoyed it. Like I hadn't seen this for a while. It's as soon as I saw, like, Shelton Benjamin is in this, I was thinking to myself, oh, that's going to be great because you know what Shelton Benjamin is. You know who he is. He is going to put on a show. He is going to, do something in the match that's going to make it really entertaining because we're always told about the athleticism of Shelton Benjamin, so something's going to happen, something awesome, something that looks cool. Also, having like Edge and Christian who did some crazy stuff in their TLC matches and are willing to push the boat out as well. And you've also got like just some like obviously wrestling machine Benoit. I would say wrestling machine to an extent as well, Jericho, and then the sort of X factor of the big man with Kane. But like when this was starting, I couldn't in my mind think, how it finished. I knew who was going to win. There's a reason we're kind of at this point of the journey, but I went into it thinking I'm definitely going to see some cool stuff in this.
Yeah, and there definitely was. I think even just right at the start, as Kane's coming out, they all run up the aisle and attack him. And it's just like we've all got the same idea. Let's take him out. Like even just that, right off the bat, started like that. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Some of the bumps in here, it's funny because I don't really associate anybody, I don't think, in this match with like, they're going to take a silly bump. Like there's no Mankind in here or anything like that. But some of the big impact stuff that's going on is crazy.
Yeah.
Right from the start there's the multiple splashes off the top rope. You see someone going off, Shelton maybe, then Christian, and then the camera's down on all of them getting up, and then Kane suddenly flying for the top rope. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I know that's really hypocritical because I've just said that bothers me, but I think when it's being done for the first time, it's different. Edge and Christian hit a con ladder.
Yeah.
throw,
Yeah.
like
I
that.
like that because they've obviously been separated for a while here and they've got their own things going on. But yeah, the moment was obviously right to just do it. I'm trying to remember because I think we've both watched the 2005 Rumble recently. Was Edge playing a slightly, I don't know, slightly psychotic character
Unhinged.
there?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was pulling his hair out and all that when he was fighting
That's
Shawn
right.
Michaels.
Yeah, so it started and they've been building this for a little while with Edge. Yeah, there's some great stuff on this. Like there's the moment where one ladder slanted up against the other and Shelton runs up it and clotheslines some off.
Jericho.
I mean the balance and just the ability to do that, it just looked amazing.
Is Shelton in a number of these matches?
I'm not sure. I'd be interested to look and see because he is it's a clever move having him in a match like this.
Oh, aye. He's a total highlight reel in this match. And I'm sure he's in at least another one.
Okay.
And doing similar stuff. I really like that. He T-bone suplexes Edge almost off the top of the ladder as well. Just unbelievable.
Awesome.
I like the wee bit where Tomko basically comes in he's like, right, I had enough of this. Starts cleaning it. Everybody sticks Christian on his shoulders and starts lifting him up the ladder, similar to how Rhino did for
Mhm.
TLC2. Rhino?
Yep.
Was it? Aye,
Yeah.
aye, aye.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that. But then you've got on the other side, Kane wrecks Tomko.
Yep.
Launch him over the ropes. Christian's up the top of the ladder. Kane pushes him off, and Christian goes all the way out the ring and lands on Tomko. Cool bump.
Yep.
What happened to Benoit that meant he had like a wee T-Rex arm in this match?
I don't know. Like, yeah, I was watching it and it just seemed to happen at a point. But I suppose the thing with these matches, you've got so much going on that's quite high impact that then once the person takes a move, they tend to roll out and just be a non-factor for a little bit. But yeah, when he came back in and started getting involved, summoning, and it must have been real, whatever it was, because it was really limiting like his moveset. But I'm always obviously you would rather it didn't happen, but I'm always all right with that kind of thing because that's believable. There's going to be damage done to guys in these matches, so you're selling even if it's it's real, but you're of course you would be selling quite a lot in a match like this.
And he just plays that sort of injury type, a wounded animal, so to speak, like really, really well. And he's holding the arm and climbs up the ladder and goes for the headbutt right off the top of the ladder into somebody. And I think he's got stitches, and you see them open up, and he's got blood all over his face. Yeah, unbelievable. And that must be, he hits that, then that must be right towards the end. I expect this to go on much longer. It might just have been that I was enjoying it.
Yeah, I never actually checked how long it went on, but yeah, after that flying headbutt, Benoit starts climbing the ladder again, and Edge is there, chair in hand, and just starts going at him right at the injured arm as well. And Benoit comes down, and that's where Edge has kind of got the freedom to climb and claim the prize.
And we get JR calling him opportunistic, and that's used to describe him quite a lot throughout his then career after that. It only goes 15 minutes.
Really? Okay.
Scroungy get Meltzer only gave it 4.5 stars.
Harsh.
Bloody right, it's harsh. You should see the amount of Young Bucks matches that are on Dynamite that get 6 stars and all that. 4.5 stars. Behave yourself.
So what we know from that is that Edge is guaranteed a title shot at any point he chooses in the next 12 months, which I think with the type of character that they're going for here really suits it. It's going to work because you know he's a bit unhinged and he's got this opportunity, and you kind of just have to use your imagination to think, well, when's he going to take it? And the fact that JR's already started with the opportunistic, it's obviously going to play into how he's going to try and take advantage.
But we can only imagine, Adam, if Christian had won this, there'd have been no TNA, there'd have been no ECW, ECW champion. But Money in the Bank would have winning the first one and having that opportunity to cash it in at any time would have worked well for Christian.
Would there even be an AEW right now?
Probably no.
Probably would have gone under. Yep.
What could have been, eh? My captain. I love you so much.
Guy's awesome.
Okay. No, that was a great match. Amazing. I look forward to once we get round to WrestleMania 22 and see who's in the next one. CM Punk might be in the next one. Will that be too early? Probably.
Yeah, it might be the one after that. Just trying to think the timeline. It's possible. I think I lose track of when he actually came in.
I've got a prediction. I think Finlay might be in the next one.
Oh.
My name's Finlay and I love to fight. Anywho.
Wow.
Here comes Eugene. What is WrestleMania without Eugene?
This I just didn't want this to happen. As soon as it started, I didn't want it to happen.
Hold on. Eugene's music is amazing. I don't know if I've said that the last time we saw him. It's like Rocky montage type music.
Yeah. It's-
I'm not going to talk about what he talks about, but he starts talking about things that have not aged well. But just as he's talking about, I think he's talking about something that happens at WrestleMania 5 or 6 in a match that King Kong Bundy had with a bunch of small people. Just talking about what Eugene was talking about there, but he gets interrupted anyway by Muhammad Hassan and his manager Davari.
yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And it was here I thought to myself, I don't remember Muhammad Hassan turning face. Because the last thing I'd saw of him was when he entered the Rumble and they all ganged up on him and battered him and threw him out.
Yeah. Was there not a thing about like really bad timing? Did he not?
Yeah, it's further on.
Yeah. His career is fairly short lived, this character.
I think we might have spoken about this before. I think it's a good gimmick.
But yeah, obviously if if real world things start happening at a bad time, I suppose I get it. You know, where can you go with that?
Okay, so let's just quickly talk about that. Let's quickly unpack that. So there was the London train or London Underground bombing.
Yep.
That was maybe in July.
Yep.
And he was in a program with the Undertaker on SmackDown. They had him with guys in black balaclavas and all that come out and abduct the Undertaker. I think he maybe did like a throat slashing thing and all that.
Yeah.
But the issue with that was that they pre-recorded that before the train bombing had happened, and then it happened, and then they just went ahead with it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot of discussion about
That's
who's to is that kind of on the network? Is that on, Sky for showing it? Yeah, it's a tough one. It's pre-recorded at that point in time. It hasn't happened, but yeah. I think Davari came back for a while. I think
he did as well.
He had a longer run.
So Hassan comes down to the ring, interrupts Eugene, and he starts talking about it being was he talking about being an international incident that he's missed off of WrestleMania, basically.
Yeah.
He attacks Eugene and puts it. I quite like. Is it camel clutch he put him in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he does like the throat slashing thing. That's pretty savage. That. Anyway, real American hits as this is happening. The crowd go absolutely mental.
Yeah, they did.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Hogan comes out, beats up both of them. Notice he didn't drop the leg. Take his spine's already shrunk a couple of feet.
Must have.
By this point. It was at this point that I did not appreciate that he was going into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Yep.
I didn't realise. And then for probably about as long as the Money in the Bank match was on for, he milks the crowd for all it's worth.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's given them exactly what they want, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think, certainly latterly I wasn't a Hogan fan, but I think again, a WrestleMania, a big show, it's gone Hollywood, I think it's totally natural for him to make an appearance. I'm just glad he wasn't wrestling a match.
No, give it time, my friend.
Mm.
To be fair, I've wrote here that is the perfect way to use Hogan.
Yeah.
2005, that's the perfect way to use him, especially with Hassan and the gimmick he had and the American flag and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Legend versus legend killer. Randy Orton versus Undertaker. I'm not quite sure the background to this match, how it got started. Last time we spoke about Randy Orton about this time was him winning the title at SummerSlam 2004 against Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
I guess since then he's probably been in a program with Evolution.
Yeah, did he challenge Triple H at the Rumble for the title? Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if in my mind, he's the legend killer here, but I don't know if he actually is. I think I've
No,
just
I think he
decided
is.
that fits. Okay, so I suppose if the storyline is going to be he's legend killer, maybe it's just natural that he has decided he's going after the biggest legend, and going to try and end. What by now were they referring to it as the streak? They definitely reference that he's unbeaten and how many wins he's had.
Aye, it seems like they've just cottoned on to what's about.
Yeah.
Like he's gone this long unbeaten. I think he's 12 at this point.
Okay.
Aye, it does seem like they're just starting to make a
starting to
bit
make
of
a
a
thing
deal
of
of it.
Yeah.
I thought,
And if you're starting to make a deal of it, then obviously the legend killer's going to win. Obviously.
yeah, they had me believing, and I know. It did look like there was a good build up to this, and they've got Cowboy Bob Orton involved in it as well, and he's in the Hall of Fame that weekend as well. I think there's some good wee bits that they showed from SmackDown where Orton does not look scared at Undertaker the same way other people who have gone up against Undertaker in the past did. You know, he stood face to face with him and slapped him in the face, and he's smiling and all that sort of stuff. Also very intimidating. He RKO's his girlfriend Stacy Keibler.
Yes,
well
I remember that. I remember actually being shocked at
Really?
that. Yeah, like, because there had been male on female, aggression in some of the shows, but it was so often like, China or someone like that.
I thought you were saying Mae Young.
Oh God. And I remember the Dudleys went through a phase of like, power bombing a lot of female performers and things like that. But when I was watching it, I don't know, it just was like, oh, because you wouldn't see that now. They just wouldn't. They wouldn't do that now. So yeah, I got a bit of a shock.
It looks like they've done a good job building up Orton. Like I say, 4 or 5 times through this match, I thought Orton should have and could have won this match. I know we spoke about it, and you thought at the time that he was going to beat him, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I was watching it thinking, because again, the streak hadn't really been a thing, but logic would tell you the reason they're starting to talk about it is for him to lose here. And Orton, they obviously saw so much in him. I remember certainly that era of Orton. I think now I'm fine with it, but thinking, yeah, he has to be a heel because they've obviously between his title win, where he was pretty over, even though he was part of Evolution. I think the crowd were happy to see the win, and then as soon as Evolution turned on him, he was a babyface just by nature of that happening.
Yep.
But I think that young cocky Orton suited being a heel so much better.
Definitely. And I think there's times, because of the way that this match goes, I definitely think there's times that the crowd are behind him. I think there's a "Let's Go Randy" chant at one point.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he's properly standing toe to toe with Taker. He back body drops him.
He did. Yeah, he got quite a lot of offense in. You couldn't, I think, criticize the fact that he didn't look competitive. He absolutely did. And you could maybe play off the fact he nearly had him. I just kind of, given the fact that I mentioned to you, the fact that they did end the streak in the end, and it was by a guy who was massively over and believable as a main eventer at any point anyway. I feel like they could have done it here and got more out of it. It could have been, he could have bragged about it, similar way to the way Heyman did for Lesnar, but it could have elevated him right to the top.
Yeah, I would compare it a little bit with when they had Jericho win the Undisputed Championship and beat Rock and Austin the same night.
Yeah.
It's like, give a guy an opportunity, and then, they didn't really do anything with it. It was a really good opportunity to catapult him to be proper top pinnacle of the company, and they could have done that with Orton. And you've got an opportunity there with the whole OVW background with either champion as well.
Yeah.
That come out of this, and an opportunity to go into a sort of new generation type era. But hey ho, fantasy booking. We'll not go through this all the way. There's some cool wee bits as we start to get towards the end with the the close falls. I really liked when Taker has him up for the last ride and Orton almost jumps right over Taker's head and lands on his feet. Really cool. That segues into poor Hebs taking a really gimpy bump.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bob comes out of the cast on, levels Taker, and gets a close near fall. I don't know if I can hold my water. I was going to wait to tell you about Bob Orton, but I can't wait because these two must have matches for a while, Taker and Orton. That ends in a Hell in a Cell.
Okay. Yep.
And Bob Orton gets involved in that as well, and Blades. And Blades.
Oh no, I've
Do you
heard
know about
about
this?
this.
Aye.
Yeah.
Bleeds all over Taker,
Uh-huh.
and Bob Orton has hepatitis C. And when Undertaker finds that out, he gets him fired. I just couldn't believe that story. How does these things happen, eh?
Yeah, I mean, like, I assume, do you think because he's not maybe an active full-time performer, they don't, I don't know, do tests of their own and things like that? Well, obviously he knew, didn't he? Orton knew. Bob
Oh,
Orton
aye.
knew.
Aye. That's why he's wearing the cast.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just wrestling, eh? It's just the sort of story you hear in wrestling, and it's just like, what on earth?
I really liked Orton countered a chokeslam attempt into an RKO. I liked that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Same. Question for you, Adam.
Yep.
When will people learn to stop trying to tombstone the Undertaker?
Yeah, I don't know, because it seems to backfire a lot.
Doesn't it have? Never do it, especially after hitting him with an RKO. Stick him up and deny him.
Yeah.
He got cocky though. It fits the gimmick. Anyway, Undertaker spin or falls backwards and gets the upper hand, hits a tombstone. 1, 2, 3. I thought we were getting another close fall with a tombstone.
Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah.
Saying that, WrestleMania 29, Punk hits a tombstone Undertaker.
Oh yeah,
he
he
does
did.
like
He
the
actually hit
classic
it,
Undertaker pin, and it looked like he gets like 2 3/4.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Punk's the exception, as he likes to think of himself in all facets of life. So Undertaker wins. The streak is maintained, 12 or 13 and 0 at that point. A really good match.
Yeah, enjoyable. Yeah.
Go on.
I think the only thing that took me out of it a wee bit was I remembered, well, obviously I knew who won, but I remembered at the time really thinking that Orton could and should have won. So that as the match is starting and we're going through it, I'm a wee bit like, I don't know, sitting there arms folded thinking Orton should have won.
Stupid Vince. At this point, I think that this is a really good show so far. As far as a consistent show, it's been good. Next match is for the women's Divas Ladies Heavyweight title. Heel Trish Stratus taking on Christy Hemme, who has Lita in her corner. I believe this is supposed to be Trish versus Lita, but Lita had a genuine
It certainly
knee injury,
seemed like
possibly.
it. Yeah. Yeah, I've never been overly. I don't really remember Christy Hemme as a performer. I wonder if her in-ring work was fairly short-lived. Possibly.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's only in this match because she's on the cover of Playboy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought Trish plays a good heel. I've never really seen her play a heel before. I remember when she was manager with TNA, but standing alone, she plays a good heel.
Yeah.
She's wearing the same outfit as what she was wearing for WrestleMania 39.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on it. I saw something on Twitter just saying that it was basically a slightly updated version of the exact same outfit. Yeah.
There's definitely no point in talking about this match because it is.
Nah, Trish retains.
Nah.
That's
this
it.
is like Kurt Angle. Well, It's like Kurt Angle versus the Brooklyn Brawler or something. But
Yeah.
that's unfair on the Brawler.
Yeah, it does feel like that. Yeah.
Like, awful, awful, awful. However, not to worry, because we've got a palate cleanser coming up. So we've got representing SmackDown, Kurt Angle, representing Raw, Shawn Michaels, an inter-promotional match, which all kicked off at the Royal Rumble. I would argue, I'm going out on a limb here, Adam, I would argue that the build-up for this match between the Royal Rumble, how it kicked off, and the different segments that they had appearing on each other's shows, and the match make this one of the most perfect professional wrestling matches of all time.
Nice. I like it. It's so well done because I don't. It's impossible to know when the plan would have come together to have these two, face off against each other. But obviously, neither is in a program on their own show that Vince or whoever is writing things want to take through to WrestleMania. So pairing them together and the way they did it, the fact that it comes from this incident or these incidents that take place at the Rumble. I remember being shocked at Angle getting eliminated, but then it all came back to me in terms of what's actually going to happen.
Mhm.
Because Angle goes into the Rumble and just starts immediately tearing everyone
Beast mode.
apart.
Amazing.
And then he catches, is it a super kick he catches?
Yeah.
And he's knocked out of the ring and the match. And he is absolutely furious. And Kurt Angle is so good at every aspect. He's obviously brilliant in the ring. That's known. But his facial expressions, the fact he can do humor as well as just coming across as a guy that has lost the plot and
Rage,
wants to
aye.
destroy everyone. So yeah, it's so well done. I remember this match being on the card, and I didn't remember the match like move by move or anything like that. But I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be great because it's Kurt Angle, it's Shawn Michaels. This is going to be brilliant. But yeah, he comes back and eliminates Michaels from the Rumble, and then they're brawling on the outside, and I've seen it a few times. I think Kurt Angle does the ringside brawl better than anyone I've seen. He's just so bloody intense. I'd be terrified.
Amazing. It is one of the three eyes. You have to remember that.
It is, yeah.
You're right, though. I was thinking this as well. Thinking about them both. I think you've got two guys that seem to be able to do everything. Like Michaels did humour and all that sort of stuff. And they're both are in ring is unquestionable. I think Angle's better at every facet of professional wrestling as Michaels. That's maybe a controversial comment, but I do think he is.
Yeah, I do wonder if we remember when we did this was way back when we did like our goats.
Yeah, top 5 goats. Yep.
And I think if he'd stayed in WWE for even like I don't know half of his TNA run, I don't know. Maybe you would look at it differently, and he'd be somebody that you would just automatically think of. Because I remember seeing the timeline where he actually spent longer in TNA than in WWE, and being shocked by that.
Wow.
Because it seemed like he achieved loads, but I think he achieved loads in like year one. Angle. I think he basically won everything in year one, which again it just doesn't happen. But you hear stories about like I think it was it Tom Pritchard, Bruce Pritchard's brother Tom, who's a well-renowned trainer who watched him trying to learn professional wrestling. He's like, but never seen anything like it, even from other sports people, other athletes, just never seen anyone just take to it that way. But I don't think it's as shocking to me that he took to the in-ring, but the storytelling and even like the humor and things like that, the way he took to those is just incredible.
I'd listened to his podcast that talks about this match. He credits Brian Gewirtz for a lot of the humor stuff, and he says he's basically an unsung hero of his career. But like you say, but you know, a guy that can wrestle, can he? You know, I know every guy that's a champion wrestler can moonsault and
No, yeah.
and sell and everything. Just everything he does, just amazing. I'd like to go back and listen to that episode. I wonder if we even spoke about Kurt Angle.
Probably not.
I think you're probably right with your TNA. I don't think I've ever seen a match that he had in TNA.
I remember a program he had with Samoa Joe, which was really good, because I think at the time Samoa Joe was, when Angle maybe just first went in,
Right.
Samoa Joe was kind of the main man, and they had several matches. But I remember like a bit of shock and surprise that Angle beat him in the first match. But I think that was always the plan. They would then have more, and Angle was coming in hot. But yeah, I think he was 8 years in WWE on his his actual wrestling run, Angle.
Right.
And yeah, he's 10 years in TNA.
Wow, that's
I would never have even thought TNA existed as TNA for 10 years. But yeah, it's like some of the matches, and you can probably imagine how good a match with him and Samoa Joe would be. But I remember they had the really intense pull apart fights and things like that as well. And
I can imagine.
yeah, an Angle, I'm sure, has talked about the fact they just both laid in. You know, they're both fine with it, so they just both said, "Yeah, let's just do it, make it look real by making it pretty close to being real."
Class. I watched the Untold show, the original show on the network today about Angle and Michaels, and Michaels had said to Angle before their match, "I'm not scared of you," and Angle had been like, "I don't know what that means." He thinks what he meant was, if we go in there and it starts to get heavy, like, I'll give you just as much as.
Okay.
And I think that definitely lends itself to this match. Like they're doing what you just said about Samoa Joe as well. Like they're laying it in, the chops, the wrestling, right from the very start, where Michaels is controlling with the side headlock stuff. Like nobody does that to Angle. So Angle starts trying to wrestle him, and Shawn's still holding on to the side headlock. Like it's just a perfect perfect start to the match. It reminded me of a Bret Hart match, actually.
Yeah. I remember them. Yeah, that's the sort of story they're telling. You're expecting Angle to control it, to be the wrestler. You're expecting Michaels maybe rely on quickness, rely on that bit of extra experience and know-how and things like that. But yeah, he's going in to try and out wrestle him. And again, I think that kind of feeds into whether heel or babyface, the sort of character Michaels has been, which is, I'll beat you at your thing. I'll take you on that way. But at the same time, I thought they did a good job of Michaels all through the match is scared of the ankle lock. They tell that story as you go. He didn't want to be in it. He scrambles away at every possible time where it looks like it might possibly go on, which sells the strength of the move as well. So it's all just so well done.
Something I like about Angle matches is he doesn't build up to the ankle lock. If he gets the opportunity, he just sticks it on.
Yeah.
And it can come in within the first minute of a match, 5-10 minutes in the match. It's not a gradual build up. I'm going to work the ankle, because it's just as dangerous as it is at the end or at the start.
Yeah.
And I remember that Benoit match that we liked so much. He would just grab it if he had the chance. He would just go for it.
Yeah.
There's probably too much in this match to even and talk through it, but there's a couple of nice spots here and there. There's one where Angle's trying to German suplex him off the apron, aiming for the announcer table.
Yep.
Michaels gets the low blow, and Angle ends up on top of the announcer's table. Michaels bounces off the second rope and just dives across and lands on him. And that felt desperate. And I think that's why I liked it so much. It wasn't so much a wow, look at that move. It was just like he wants to kill him, and this is what it's going to take to do it.
Yeah. No, really, really good. Like There's some stuff I I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's just how it looks, or the fact that I know about his skilled background. But Angle likes suplexes. He likes suplexing guys, and he has his different suplex types, and he'll show a few in a match. But it never bores me the same way as like a Brock Lesnar suplex machine.
Scott Steiner.
Yeah, 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 with 20 in a match, because it never feels like, oh, that is literally all he's got. Okay, but yeah, I love like he comes up with slightly different ways and modified ways of hitting the suplexes and things like that. There's a point where I think it's just after the announce desk thing where Michaels starts tuning up the band in the ring, and he goes for the super kick, and Angle grabs the foot. He just snatches the foot and applies the ankle lock, which I definitely never seen. That done in other matches. I thought that looked brilliant.
Class. It's from there that Angle. Michaels obviously gets the ropes. Angle pulls him over, goes for the moonsault, and misses him by, an inch, if that. Angle's head appears to come down first, and hit the mat. So Shawn, I think this is his second opportunity. He's going to go for his flying elbow, and Angle normally does the get up, run, scale the turnbuckles, and belly to belly throw them over his head. This time, Michaels is still getting up the ropes, so he runs up and throws him off the ropes with an Angle slam. Never seen that before, and I properly was like, because it looked like one of them was going to land on their head.
Is that just before Angle is screaming in Michael's face, which was great as well. I couldn't. Is he shouting at him to quit or stay down or something like that?
You will tap out.
That was it. And just as Michaels, I think, releases from him just with a little shove and then hits a super kick straight away, which again,
Angle's sell of that super kick's amazing.
Yeah,
he properly falls down like a tree falling.
Yeah,
lands on his back.
Yeah, great.
And as Michaels gets up to walk over him, Angle grabs the ankle, wrenches the ankle, gets the ankle lock on, and he's in that for quite some time before he eventually taps. He's sort of exhausted all avenues as to how he can get out of it. I like when they did the rollover and Angle still got a hold of it.
Yeah, it's when I remember thinking this when watching his matches before. There's something different about when he goes to ground with the ankle lock. It's when he hits the mat, you're like, this is done now. It's just we're talking mat at a time now.
Absolutely,
yeah, brilliant,
world class match. One of the best matches I've ever seen. I think I was thinking back about some of the matches that we've watched over the course of the time we've been recording. Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, Angle versus Benoit, Royal Rumble 2003.
Yeah.
And this probably best, I think, but they're probably the three best matches. And I think all of them have got similar traits in that they're physical. This is what I like about wrestling, I think. I like the silliness, but you get the silliness with the whole sexy Kurt and all that sort of stuff in the build-up. And I was saying to you, I love the fact that he does all that, and then he threw Sherry to the floor and stuck the ankle lock on her as well. You get every sort of different version of his character.
Yep.
End of my notes here, I've got what a match. Angle is the greatest wrestler of all time.
Nice.
Is he?
He's got to be right up there. Maybe at some point we'll revisit and try and do our greatest of all time again, and maybe it'll be totally different.
Yeah. Okay, talking about the greatest of all time, we've got an episode of Piper's Pit. Now, I just want to say, if this pay-per-view had ended there, it would have been getting 5 stars from me, I think. Would you be fine with that?
Oh yeah, I think it's been
Undertaker, Orton.
Yeah.
That last match, the Money in the Bank.
Yep. yeah, it's been a really, really good show. Where we have to bring it down a bit. Yeah.
I get doing Piper's Pit. So we've got Piper in the ring. Got the classic tartan
Mhm.
carpeting. I think I read that they did last did the Piper's Pit WrestleMania 10. That may not be accurate, but it's been a lot of
Okay.
years.
Okay.
Anyway, Piper's sort of selling himself to the crowd as a rebel. And I
Yeah.
think he even says, "Who's the biggest rebel in the WWE?" And the fans go, "Stone Cold Steve Austin." And I think he's maybe
Yeah.
expecting them to say "you," but I don't know. He's not selling it, is he?
Nah, I couldn't work out. Obviously, I think if you've got access to Austin, you want to get him on the show in some way. I couldn't work out any real point to any of this.
No. So Piper says the biggest rebel. He's heard all this about Austin, but he's never seen him. Austin, the glass shatters. Austin comes out, and Piper starts saying stuff like, and he says, "Welcome to Piper's Pit," and slaps him in the face. And Austin says something like, "Thanks for having me, you little bastard," and slaps him back. I was like, "Oh, this is decent. It's quite funny." But then Piper tries interacting with the what chant.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't catch me? Did you think he was aware of the what
I
chant, or
don't
do you
know.
think he thinks he
I,
could handle it?
when I was watching it, I was thinking he hasn't watched any wrestling since the watch app became a thing, and he doesn't know what's going on.
It's so frustrating to watch people shape their cadence to the what chant. So they'll go, "I was just thinking the other day there when I was walking down the street that I."
I've heard some
No.
debate about whether it's actually one of the worst things that ever happened to wrestling,
Mm.
the watch chant. It's yeah.
I like when Undertaker said something like, "Say what again if you sleep with your sister," and they just like stopped.
Brilliant.
Anyway, Austin and Piper sort of kind of trade barbs, but no really. And then Carlito's music hits. Like, I could imagine you being happy when
I,
Carlito's music hits.
I liked Carlito, but unfortunately, I knew exactly what he was walking into as soon as he appeared. Like the whole, you know, the whole cool thing that he used to do. That's not cool and stuff like
That's not
that.
cool.
It made me laugh, and the spit in the apple stuff made me laugh. But yeah, as soon as when his music hits in this environment, I'm thinking to myself immediately, right, they're both going to go after him. He's going to catch a stunner, and all that's left to decide is Piper also going to get a stunner or not? That's immediately what's gone into my mind.
There you go. You've set out the rest of the segment. Apart, you've missed Piper eating a full apple in
Oh
about
yeah,
30 seconds. It's
he
quite
did.
impressive.
Yeah.
And Austin, like sort of dressing him down. You got your little skirt, your furry little gimmicks. I thought it was quite funny. Anyway, this was quite pointless, but an opportunity for them to milk Austin.
Yeah.
Carlito attacks Piper. Carlito gets a stunner. Piper and Austin share beers. Piper gets a stunner. That's it. That's it. They've essentially did what they did with Hogan, but with Austin.
Yeah. We're going straight to Cena JBL, yeah? Is that where we are? That's next.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're not.
Oh.
The next match is a sumo match between the Big Show and Akebono. Now, I don't want to talk about this, but I do want to say that so Akebono's like a disgraced sumo wrestler. I think he got kicked out of Japan or something like that,
Okay.
or kicked out of sumo wrestling or whatever. The shape that man is in makes Big Show look like he's in really, really good shape. That's all I want to say. Why is it always Big Show? Why does Big Show get these matches?
Do you know what I wondered? Like, because I don't think remember the Floyd Mayweather one?
Mayweather, right?
I mean, that's a great spot to be in for Big Show. But this, I wondered if Vince was just pissed off with him for being so heavy and just wanted to humiliate him.
That's what I
kind
that's what I assumed as well.
yeah.
Aye. Okay. That's absolute nonsense. You know, they're talking about like, oh, it doesn't matter. Nonsense. Okay. Like I say, if the pay-per-view had finished after Michael's angle, I'd have been happy.
Yeah.
And I think the crowd feel the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't feel. So we've got two WWE Championship matches, Undisputed Championship between JBL and John Cena, and then the World Championship between Triple H and Batista.
Yep.
JBL versus John Cena felt like a Raw or SmackDown match.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
short.
I noticed more every time I watch one of these quite early Cena matches. The other guy dominates
Oh, aye.
for huge parts of these matches. It's the second time I've noticed it. I think did he have one with Booker T we watched where basically Booker T dominated the match
Uh-huh.
and then Cena
he got
found
hit
the
the
win.
FU. Aye.
Yeah, it felt and looked a bit like that. I still love JBL's entrance, the music, and brilliant.
Something that was bothering me about this match was that Cena, up to this point, is playing. I can remember thinking this roundabout when Cena was early Cena's career, that he was almost like an Austin type. Obviously, the gimmicks are completely different, but like an anti-authority type figure, and I thought it worked quite well for him. But then he wins the title and he's given it all the like, oh, faces and like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me type thing. And like this sort of badass character would just be like, yeah, like this is mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they obviously change up his gimmick after this anyway, and he becomes.
Yeah, I was wondering how quick after this, basically immediate, is he about to go through a bit of a change?
I think so.
Yeah. Cause I find this version of Cena just a very, very annoying guy. But like I do think I was trying to gauge what the crowd reaction for it was, and I think they wanted him to win the title. You know, I think they were ready for it, but maybe not necessarily knowing what it would be. Ready for something fresh, somebody who's fairly new at that level to win the belt and then see what happens type thing. Because I think it's always considered JBL did a good job as champion. You know, he took it from Guerrero when I think Guerrero was starting to struggle with the weight of it. And he basically had to lead. And I think it's considered he did a good job in that. I don't think anyone could have seen this JBL character when he was half of the APA. You know, it's so far removed from anything we'd seen from him before. But I think it did feel like, you know, they're ready to go with Cena. And I suppose looking at the two title matches, you know, we'll talk Batista Triple H, but actually I don't think Batista's all that young, but it felt like, you know, fresh at the top of the card.
Yeah, 100%.
It wasn't. I didn't think it was a great match. I thought, you know, JBL got a lot of his stuff in, and then it kind of plays out that he kind of ended up just getting caught by a little bit of momentum by Cena, and then that's it.
I actually thought I thought the fans were booing Cena at some point, but I think that's maybe just like what's the thing where you're just programmed to, you know, you programmed to hear a word and you just think something. I think I could just hear the boos because that's what you're used to.
What you're looking for. Yeah.
So yeah, FU out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3, and Cena wins the title, jumps in the crowd with some guy who definitely should have just grabbed. He got given the belt from Cena. She just ran for it. We go into a wee Hall of Fame ceremony recap. Every Hall of Fame inductee here was involved in WrestleMania 1, Adam.
Really? Was that deliberate?
I don't know. They didn't mention it.
Yeah. I when I saw it, I thought, well, this is a strong class because there's a lot of, you know, well-established names that are in it.
We've got Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Bob Orton Jr. We talked about Jimmy Hart, Roddy Piper, and a new version of Hulk Hogan that I like to call Humble Terry. He was given it. He was playing this very humble Terry character, especially at the ceremony. If you watched that bit,
Yeah.
so happy to be here, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the Maniac? Because he had, when he came back, he had the Rock one. Was that 18? Or was that 19?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then
18.
and then 19, did he fight McMahon? Was that a thing?
Oh, I think you're right. Aye.
So he's actually had a WrestleMania match just a year prior to this, which is quite, I don't know, seems quite strange to me. But yeah, I also remember thinking, I don't know that they would do this now because I feel like they've tried to slow it and calm it down a little bit, but it felt to me like Piper and Hogan could both have been headliners. Obviously,
Aye.
any class Hogan's in, he's going to be the headliner, but it wouldn't surprise you to have seen Piper headline in a class. It felt, I don't know, almost overstacked.
It really surprised me to see him headlining next year's class.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's fair.
That's a crass joke.
Fair.
I was playing off the fact that he's dead.
It's true. I mean, he is.
But, well, not really, because people get put in posthumously all
Oh,
the
they
time.
do.
So.
Of course they do. You might not see him. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
He's in Piper's Pit.
I think you've taken it too far now.
Sorry, my bad. To do that to a fellow Scot as well, that's terrible.
And the star of one of the greatest films of all time.
Agreed. I like the wee touch of the divas coming out with the Hall of Fame inductees.
Yeah, I remember that used to be, that was a thing for quite a while.
Was it? Aye?
Yeah.
Made you remember all the. Stacey got her little moment doing the Hulka hand to the ear stuff and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't recognise a lot of them, to be honest, but.
Crazy. Stacey now had her own induction into the Hall.
Yes, do you remember we were talking about Foley saying he'd got a phone call to say that he was going to be inducting somebody into the Hall of Fame, and we were trying to work out who it would be.
I would never in a million years have guessed.
I would never have linked them two.
If you listen to his podcast, apparently for her, for whatever reason, she used to go to him with questions quite a lot. So he kind of, I think he kind of took her under his wing to some extent, and apparently advised her to never get a boob job, because that was a thing. It was a very common thing in divas for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
The majority, that his view was, you will stand out more exactly as you are. Just stay exactly as you are.
I like his style. I think
that was a good call.
Well played, Mick. I might give him a phone, see if I should. What do you think?
No? I certainly don't need one myself.
Okay. I probably laughed a little bit too hard at that now. I feel quite remorseful. Okay, Triple HR versus Big Dave for the World Heavyweight title. I think you have been quite vocal in the past that you love the whole build-up of this and the way that they dealt with this, through Batista winning the Rumble and Triple H trying to manipulate him into taking on JBL and not coming for his title. And that was all done really well. There was the New Year's Revolution match in January 2005 where they had the Elimination Chamber, and Orton is pinning Batista, and they did this really well. Triple H is in the corner and he gets up to break up the count and then sits back down.
Yep.
Stuff as class.
Yeah, just really well done. And I always loved the fact that even when Batista's playing along with them, you know that he knows. Because you've seen him. I've got this image ahead of him outside a locker room, and he can hear what they're saying, but obviously they are none the wiser.
He's smiling away to himself,
and he's, I think, started to realise that what they did to Orton is exactly what they would do to him in a heartbeat. I just love the way this, and it was quite it wasn't overly drawn out. It's not over a really long period of time, but quite well paced. Like they didn't rush it. They'd started planting seeds, and then obviously the Rumble win, it has to kick into gear from there. But yeah, it's in terms of that era, I think it was my favorite storyline.
Definitely part of all the sort of best of Raws and all that sort of stuff. You definitely get that stuff in it.
Yep.
Batista's on record as saying that they wanted to do the Triple H Batista match on a Raw pretty soon after the Rumble. But
Right.
Triple H said, nah, let's eke it out a bit and we'll do it at WrestleMania. It seems like the best decision for old Paul there. Well played, Paul. So yeah, so we get champion coming out first. Never a fan, Adam.
No, don't even when you're looking for the pop for the babyface challenger, I still don't like it. Just have the pop be on the first entrance. It's fine.
It's even worse when you've got Lemmy gargling his way through the game. It's worse than WrestleMania 17.
Yeah.
At least at WrestleMania 17, he says, "We're gonna kick your ass." Just here he's like, and Triple H coming up through the middle of the stage and not really knowing what to do with himself and just keeping doing that thing that he does. It's a bit like when you press the button to taunt in a computer game.
Brilliant.
This version, I can't take this version of Triple H seriously.
Yeah,
the facial hair, the almost pot belly.
It is harder. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why, because he looks like an old school wrestler. But yeah, it's harder to take seriously.
I think it's because I know that he wants to look like an old school wrestler.
Yeah. I just imagine though if he's, because he and Batista were famously gym buddies. I think that was part of the dynamic that brought them together. Imagine Triple H being like, I've got to get a bit more of a gut, because I've got the facial hair, but Batista, you need to stop me from working out quite so much. So I'm going for this look. I need the gut. Weird.
What are you suggesting that the gut is? He's doing that on purpose to look a bit weathered.
I think so. I think that's all part of the Harley race look.
I wonder if they were ever in the car and Flair looked over after his 50th bottle of vodka and wondered where he was.
Oh, shit. I come back in time.
Not again. Class. Batista, I expected Batista have the I Walk Alone music, but he doesn't. It's just instrumental music at this point. I couldn't really work out if the crowd were popping for him or no. I expect they were.
Yeah, there was a bit. Again, I think, we always want the title matches on last. It probably does hurt that there's been so many good matches earlier in the night. I think a crowd can run out of steam to some extent. But yeah, and I always think as well, 2 world title matches pretty much back to back. It's a lot. It's a lot on a show.
I agree. I was thinking, and it's hindsight and all that sort of stuff, but maybe open the show with JBL Cena. And a nice quick short match gets the fans excited and all that sort of stuff for the new champion stuff. But I thought that as well, back-to-back matches. We should have the sumo match before this one.
Yeah, that certainly would have brought everyone down. So yeah.
How long did this go? This match
felt like a wee while.
It did 21 minutes. It did. It did. Yeah. It did feel a little bit like round about Triple H's Cactus Jack, Mankind, Foley matches, where he gets beat up for a good portion of it. He's covered in blood towards the end of it. I don't know. I didn't love it, to be honest. I think maybe if we didn't have JBL versus Cena before that, I might have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I've got it in my mind they have a better match in a cage, like a Hell in a Cell match, which I think is the one my mind goes back to, because I remember really liking the finish for that. So yeah, I suppose we'll see that one. But yeah, I didn't think it was great. It's Batista. Basically, I think that the story the match is telling is Batista's in charge. He's in control. He's got the power. Triple H can't match him for power. So Nate is trying to, help Triple H get the upper hand
Yeah.
at various times. But yeah,
Flair's a menace in this match.
he is. It's kind of just non-stop. You've got involvement with chairs and stuff like that. Although there's a point where Triple H has the chair, the ref goes to grab it, and I think the ref hurts himself in the process.
Oh, he
of
does.
trying to-
It's Mike Kyoto, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was watching, I was thinking that wasn't deliberate. He's actually hurt himself there.
I'm sure I wrote that down somewhere, but I remember noticing that as well. The
There's-
wee spot I've never seen before, the slingshot off the steps onto the ring
Onto-
pole.
yeah,
I'd like to see where Batista landed.
yeah, because we don't see that actually, do we?
Nah,
Yeah,
that's what
Seems-
busts open Triple H, isn't it?
yeah. There's a lot of the sort of power moves by Batista, and Triple H keeps. I think is there 2 or 3 times he tries to go for the pedigree,
Mhm.
but he's not getting it.
Nah.
And then I started to get a wee bit annoyed as well by Big Show, Batista. I feel like I'm done before we're here with the thumbs up, thumbs down. I just start to think that just starts looking a bit.
Like it's had it's had its. It's like a kid doing the same joke over and over again, sort of thing, and thinking it's still funny.
We get the point. You're in the title match against him, so it's done.
we know
don't.
it's thumbs down. Batista does a hell of a spine buster, though. To give him his credit, he gives Flair a beautiful one. But I think he was doing that when he was the Deacon.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Things could have been, I'd have been well up for this if he was wearing the collar and still had the big thing around his neck and all that.
Would you want him to still have like Devon hanging around?
Testify, absolutely. He could have neutralised the Flair issue.
True. Yeah.
No, it's funny the way that they introduce these people. Like when you think of those 4 OVW guys. Orton was introduced in a weird way, wasn't he? Was he introduced where he was doing like weird promo type things?
Yeah.
Backstage news type.
Yeah, there was something like that. Yeah.
Lesnar was just unleashed, destroyed Spike Dudley and the Hardys and all that.
Oh yeah.
Batista as the Deacon, and then Cena as the ruthless aggression guy. So funny to see that.
I mean, all in all, what a class, eh? I mean,
and Eugene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good wrestler by all accounts.
Apparently so. So they say. Does a hell of a stunner. Anyway. Aye. Triple H continues to try and go for pedigrees throughout this match. I think it's the very last one where he has him. He's got it all locked in, and he goes to jump, and Batista just doesn't move.
Yep.
That's that real fighting. Imagine trying to do a pedigree on somebody in a street fight. That's what would happen. I'm not convinced by a Batista bomb as a champion's finisher move.
Yeah.
Are you?
Nah, I mean, I think we know his moveset's pretty limited. It's all just going to be power moves. You'd have thought they could put, I don't know, even something similar with a wee bit different spin on it or something like that. But
a frog splash or shooting star. I wonder what age Batista was here. Like you alluded to earlier, he's a lot older than. I don't think he's that far off ages with Triple H.
Is that right?
Actually.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's he might. Now, am I getting wild? He might even be older.
Born 18th of January 1969.
Okay, 30, 50, 54. Is that right? Triple H be about the same.
Let me have a look.
Bring it up, Jamie.
53. Yeah, Batista's older.
Go.
Yeah, just months.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh well, there's still time for Paul Levesque's acting career to get off the ground.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll be looking for a job in a few months. Who knows?
Well, indeed. Indeed. So there we go. WrestleMania 21. Batista, we finished the show with him shooting his pretend guns.
Yep.
And he's a new champion. We've got 2 new champions. I think that's the first time. I was going to say it's the first time it's happened in WrestleMania history, 2 champions, but
Okay.
can it actually been that many WrestleManias where there's been 2 champions?
Yeah, because Eddie went into 20 as champion and retained.
Oh, did he? There you go.
Yeah, and Benoit won the title. So there are 2 champions that night, but only one was new.
Who did Guerrero beat that night? JBL? No.
Angle. Kurt Angle. Retained
Oh, did
against
he?
Angle.
20.
Yep.
Nice, but that's a class match.
Yeah, it's one where he Angle puts the ankle lock on Eddie, and he's been releasing his boot over and over again through the match, and Angle kind of pulls away, and he's just holding the boot, and I think Eddie rolls him up or something like that. Yeah,
Remember,
it
we
played well with
we
the
watched the
character.
rematch. What was the rematch at SummerSlam, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
And Angle pulls the boot off him and just gives him an
yeah,
ankle lock to
just
his
goes.
bare foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to
Angle.
clarify, we love Kurt Angle.
What a guy!
Christian, Bret Hart, and Kurt Angle. Is that it? Muhammad Hassan? No. Okay.
I mean, if I'm going for my Mount Rushmore, I might just take those 3 and chuck Randy Savage on there.
Oh, that reminds me. I read that The Rock was politicking for 3 matches at WrestleMania 21 because remember, I think it's like end 2004, they let his contract run out.
Yeah.
And didn't contact him. The Rock wanted to face Sting at WrestleMania 21. Who's the other? Anyway, there was 3. The other one was Randy Savage.
Oh, really?
Aye. But Vince said no because of the, you know.
Yeah, he was.
Rap career. It's because of his rap career.
Well, I suppose kind of.
I don't know what that means, but I don't want to unpack it any further.
I just meant he references the incident
does he?
in a rap song. Yes.
No, he does not.
Yeah, he does.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Can you quote the exact lyrics?
No.
Okay.
I can't because I can't remember them, but he definitely. And it's aimed at Triple H. The way
For God's
says it.
sake.
Yeah.
He has a full song dedicated to Hogan, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
More wrestlers should be releasing diss albums.
Yeah? No.
Cody Rhodes releasing a head of the table diss.
Oh.
What's wrong?
No, I just don't want. I'm trying to picture any situation where I think a wrestler should be releasing a rap album, and no.
No? Kevin Owens? Why is that so funny?
I don't know.
The idea of Kevin Owens being a rapper. His little garden gnome, rosy cheeks and beard.
Yeah, for some reason that is way funnier than anyone else I can think of. It could possibly be.
If Big Show was still employed, they would have him doing rapping probably.
Oh God, I bet he'll have done it, at a point, definitely.
Aye, no doubt. Right, that's WrestleMania 21 in the books. Let's go back. Let's circle back to our boy, Edge. Putting, probably would say, on the precipice of, he's at that, what do they call it, glass ceiling. He's at that glass ceiling. He's been given the keys to it. Interesting to see where they go with them. I think I know when he cashes in. Do you?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember. Yeah.
That'd be fun. Obviously, they've never had this before, so they probably don't tease it as much as what we're now used to.
Yep.
I wonder if he's carrying it about with him and all that sort of stuff. We shall see.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear what the next event is?
So I assume it's a Backlash.
It is. It is a Raw only pay-per-view.
Okay.
So we got.
And is Edge on
Intercontinental-
Raw?
Edge is on Raw.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not doing the SmackDown
Yeah. Oh, it's just,
pay-per-views though because he could cash in.
of course he could. That's the
Saying
whole point.
that,
Yeah.
the people that were in the Money in the Bank were only Raw participants.
Okay.
Anywho, Backlash Intercontinental title match: Shelton Benjamin versus Chris Jericho.
Oh yes. Okay.
Cha-ching.
Yes.
World Tag Team title gauntlet match. Remember the old gauntlet matches? They were
Yeah.
decent.
Yeah.
I'll just wait until you hear who's in it. Tajiri and William Regal, the
Okay.
champions, versus Maven and Simon Dean. We've got Rosie and the Hurricane.
Yeah.
The Heartthrobs, Antonio and Romeo.
Who are these gentlemen?
No idea. La Resistance, Rob Conway and Sylvain Grenier.
Ah, okay. I remember
Let's see
them.
if we can find out who Antonio. Nope. Don't know who that is. And Romeo. Johnny Heartbreaker. Wait. It's no. I wondered if it was. No, it's no. Johnny Heartbreaker, Johnny Martel, Johnny Romano, Johnny Impact. No, I'm just joking. It's not.
Uh-huh.
It's not John Morrison. There we go. Last man standing match: Chris Benoit versus Edge.
No. Okay.
No comments on Chris Benoit being in that. Okay.
Nope.
A singles match, which is likely to rival Michaels versus Angle. Kane, accompanied by Lita versus Viscera, accompanied by Trish Stratus.
Oh no. Don't do this.
Save some onos because the next match is a tag team match between Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels versus Davari and Muhammad Hassan.
Oh goodness me. Okay.
Is this how they build Hogan and Michaels to SummerSlam?
Maybe. Is it that? Oh god, it is. It's this year's SummerSlam, isn't it?
It is the greatest sell job of all time. And in the main event, we've got a rematch between Batista and Triple H.
Yes. Okay. Mixed, but I'm sure it'll be entertaining.
I'm sure. Hogan and Michaels. You can imagine they saw the ovation. Vince saw the ovation for Hogan, was like drooling.
Yeah.
Terry. There's a clip on Hogan Knows Best. Remember Hogan Knows Best?
Yeah. Never actually watched it, but I'm aware of it.
The classic sitcom starring Hulk Hogan and Callum Best. Anyway, where Vince calls up Hogan and asks him to be in the Hall of Fame. And it's weird the way that Vince, I don't know if it's just for TV, but Vince is like, is there any chance you would consider being put in the Hall of Fame this year?
Wow. What a strange. Yeah.
Humble Terry's giving it all like, oh, what an honour, brother, and all that sort of stuff. It's just weird that Vince would say it like that.
I wonder if Vince personally calls everyone. I bet like whoever the tag team are that are getting inducted, it's just like some office guy or something like that.
Definitely Pritchard.
Picks up the phone. Yeah. Yeah.
He'll not be calling Piper for next year.
No, there won't be. I wonder if Vince called Stacey this year after all the gifts of his. I don't
It would be FaceTime. All she'd be able to see is the moustache bobbing.
Oh no.
Dear me. Okay. So we shall focus back on Edge next time when he takes on Chris Benoit in the last man standing match. Wonder why? Because that seems fast to go from a rivalry with Shawn Michaels that ended in a street fight on Raw to Money in the Bank to, a last man standing match.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I bet it's to do with the arm.
Yeah, because he was smacking the hell out of that with the ladder.
See the old Jordan Pickfords on the go. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in 2 weeks' time. That should be interesting. It should be good.
It'll be good. It will be
Positivity.
good. Yes.
Remember to fan cast. Shall we agree now what we need to fan cast it as, or would you prefer to fan cast it as anything?
I'm not sure.
What about if we fan cast it as an episode of Friends?
Okay.
I had no idea why. Who on earth is going to play Viscera?
It might have to be like a guest star. Ugly naked
Yes. It's Midian.
guy.
Come on.
Damn it. The wrong guy.
Yes, let's do that. Let's
Yeah.
fan cast Backlash 2005 as an episode of Friends. Cool.
Awesome.
I'll get on that right away. May need 2 weeks. Until then, take it easy. Speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.